Hi, sweatyjen back again. Today's video is going to be about a different health condition that I have. Hey! Anyways, this condition is called avascular necrosis. It's also known as osteonecrosis, and basically what it is it's like death of bone tissue that results in a lack of blood flow, and that leads to the bone becoming kind of painful, well, a lot of painful. It can result in increased risk of fractures, breaks, chips, things of that nature. So it's not fun, but I figured this video is pertinent to my channel that's about hyperhidrosis because part of me feels like the reason that this happened to me is because of my hyperhidrosis. I have avascular necrosis that currently affects my left foot, my secondary sesamoid bone. So basically in your big toe, it's like a joint because it can move like this. And the part of the toe that bends, there's two bones that connect the tip of the toe to the base of the foot, I believe. Or anatomy is not my strong suit, I'm sorry. But basically, one of those two little bones that allows the toe to bend is the bone that I have affected by avascular necrosis. I know other common areas are like elbows, wrists, knees, hips, and even the jaw. Anywhere where there's like movement, I believe, is more risky for getting this. I'm gonna talk about kind of how I found out I have this, what I've done to help it, what I do now, so on and so forth. And I also want to give a thank you, first of all, to all of the 100 plus subscribers that we have gotten to. Thank you so much for the consistent support, all of the love, all of the kindness. I want to give a special thank you to one of the subscribers I have called Collective Light. Collective Light, every video that I've put out recently, you are there commenting, and it makes me feel awesome that you watch the videos from start to finish. I love interacting with you, so special thank you to you. I hope that's not too embarrassing. And I also want to thank avascular necrosis because this condition has actually been, I would say, one of the biggest reasons why I even started making videos. The reason being not because I wanted to make videos about avascular necrosis. I love making them about hyperhidrosis, but because I had to change my whole entire lifestyle. I can't be as active as I used to be, so I spend a lot of time kind of just relaxing, sitting, trying not to overexert myself, and making videos is a really fun hobby that allows me to express myself without hurting myself. So, yeah, at first I saw having avascular necrosis as a curse, and I really was down in the dumps about it, at a dark place when I found out that I had this. But I've turned it around to see like the silver lining, and that's kind of similar to what I've done with hyperhidrosis and what I encourage all of you watching to do. Anything that you find is dampening your mood or that you feel is changing your quality of life in a way that you don't like, try to find that tiny silver lining there, because there always is one. There is always a little ray of sunshine in every dark situation. And for me, it's the fact that I have had to change the way that I live. And changing the way that I live has changed the way that I think, and it's made me more patient, not only on myself but with other people. So find that silver lining and things won't feel so bad. Also, I've got my milky tea here. It's black tea again. I think I could show you it. And yeah, I love this tea. It's hotter than it was last time, and it helps keep my thirst quenched. For some reason, when I make these videos, probably just the incessant talking really dries my mouth out. Quick glycopyrrolate update for anyone out there who's also taking it or interested. I still am taking the 2 milligrams in the morning and the 2 milligrams at night, and the side effects seem to have calmed down quite a bit. I've gotten used to this new dose, and the sweating has reduced tremendously. I still experience the occasional breakthrough sweating, but I'm very interested in trying some other techniques on days where my medicine isn't really doing its best work. This all started back in May of 2018, well over a year ago. So I went to my childhood friend's wedding, and my whole family and I were there. It was my 2 brothers, their significant others, or one of their significant others, me, my significant other, and my mom. And we were all having a grand old time. We were dancing, we were enjoying the night. I had really stupidly worn these wedge heels. They were like at least 2 inches, maybe even 3-inch wedge heels with like the front of the shoe was closed, but then there was no back. And I wore them because they were adorable, but it wasn't the smartest idea for someone with uncontrolled hyperhidrosis to do. So it was a stupid mistake, and I was dancing in these high heels, sweating like crazy, and I jumped, and then bam, all of a sudden, huge sharp pain in my left foot. And I didn't want to like make a fuss out of it because everybody was having so much fun. Even I was having fun. I was like, you know what, I probably just hurt my foot. Like, it's gonna hurt for a few days, but we'll get over it. We'll survive, move on, it'll heal. And so basically it never healed on its own, and it turned into this huge ordeal. I was playing Dr. Google, and I thought, oh, I just bruised the bone or bruised the muscle or something, it'll heal. And I knew bruised bones could take quite some weeks to heal, so I kept putting off going to the doctor. And finally, I think around 2 months, maybe 3 months after it hadn't healed, me and my husband were like, okay, this isn't normal, let's go get it checked out. And so we went to the doctor. They took an x-ray, nothing was wrong, and they gave me a referral to a podiatrist. I did not go to the podiatrist. I was like, the x-ray was fine, it's probably gonna heal. Word of advice from me: if you have something going on and it's been a little while and it's not going away, go to the doctor. Don't keep waiting. And that's a valuable lesson that I've learned as well, because I waited for way too long to go seek out the podiatrist. It kept hurting. I was working this very demanding job, and I was wearing these very tight shoes to work every day because it was a job where you had to wear a specific type of shoe, and the shoes that I had were not the best fitting. In retrospect, I should have addressed that too, but I didn't. I thought I'd break them in. Another word of the wise from me: if your shoes don't fit right away when you buy them, don't break them in, just get ones that fit. I was working this extremely demanding job with a boss who, they were the type who said, like, you can take time off, just let me know, like, it's cool. And then when you would need time off, they would guilt trip you, and you'd have like triple the work waiting for you when you got back. So I didn't really like taking time off of my job. And then also the clients that I was working with, I didn't like taking time off because I was worried they wouldn't be getting like what they needed if I wasn't there. I was really attached to this job, to the point where I was ignoring this chronic foot pain for months and months and months, just because I didn't want to take some extra time off to go visit the doctor. And so basically, this is a little off topic, but it ties back in. Me and my husband got married some years ago, but after the foot injury, we were planning, so the first time we got married, it was in the courthouse, so we didn't have like all of his family from overseas. A lot of my family from farther away in the country didn't come because we were planning to throw like a big reception ourselves. And so flash forward, and I'm working this crazy job, driving 2+ hours per day just to get to this crazy job. And my foot was hurting every day. I started planning this crazy wedding that was taking up like all of my free time. And then I decided one day to quit my job. I was like, you know what? I need to plan the wedding. I need to rest my foot. I'm not doing myself any favors. It's not even worth this struggle anymore. Oh, and another reason I quit too, like this is more of a petty reason, but we all have our petty reasons when we quit jobs. And basically my office was right next to this huge door that led outside. And so in the summertime, the air conditioning would be cranked up all the way and the doors would open and it would turn extremely hot because of the summer outside. And then in the winter, vice versa, it would be the heat was cranked up to its highest setting in my office, and then the doors would open and all of the heat would leave and be replaced by freezing cold air. And I shared my office with my boss, and I tried to tell her on numerous occasions that like I tried even hinting I have a condition and I don't do well with like these really big temperature fluctuations, but she didn't care at all. And in retrospect, I should have like went to her or somebody else and explained about having hyperhidrosis, but at this time I was very young. I was still keeping my hyperhidrosis really secret, and I didn't want to make a fuss about it, so I just dealt with it. And every day I would be sweating, seriously, buckets of sweat, so uncomfortable. It was miserable. I quit the job, and I was like looking forward to finally having some time off of my feet to heal my foot. I thought that's all it needed. I just needed to rest. That's it. Time goes by. I'm planning this wedding. I'm trying to rest my foot. It's not really getting better. We went on a vacation over to Ireland, and my foot was in severe pain the whole time. Again, I just thought I needed to rest. And so the wedding comes and goes. It was amazing, but all the while I was sweating and also in a lot of pain. I couldn't wear heels to my own wedding for a couple of reasons. The main one was because my foot was hurting so bad, and I knew if I wore heels I like wouldn't be able to walk because my foot was in so much pain. For pictures and stuff, like me and my husband are a little bit closer in height, so flats was kind of the smarter decision anyways, so I looked a little bit like shorter, I guess. But yeah, so I went through the whole wedding with this crazy pain too, and finally after that we went on our honeymoon. I still had not sought help for my foot or my sweating at all. That vacation was like crazy. My foot was hurting so much, and I was wearing sandals a lot because it was Texas. Oh my gosh, I was sweating like nonstop there. That's actually when I discovered the hyperhidrosis Reddit, was when I was in Texas, because I was feeling so miserable that I finally was like, I need to talk to other people who have this condition. And so, yeah, it's weird. Life goes full circle like that. All this weird stuff happens that all leads up to like a final destination. So, after we got back from Texas, I was really just sick of my foot hurting. At this point, it was, I believe, over a year. I think it was 13 months or so that I was dealing with this foot pain. Yeah, 13 months. Some of it was like while I was working, some of it was when I was resting to try to heal it. And so we got back, and I was like, I really need to go to the podiatrist or something. Something's not right at this point. It's been over a year and it still hurts. And so I checked out that referral for the podiatrist that I got during the doctor's appointment with the x-ray, and lo and behold, it had not expired. So I called the podiatrist, set up an appointment for like a month away because they were really booked up. And I went to the appointment and he felt around on my foot and he's like, we're going to need to order an MRI. And I'm like, okay. So I get the MRI done, and that's when they discovered, or when my doctor discovered, that I had avascular necrosis of the secondary sesamoid bone in my left foot. And he told me this over the phone. He called me when he got my MRI back and he told me, and he was like, yeah, it basically means like your bone is dead. And I was like, what? Like, I freaked out and I acted really calm on the phone. I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, what does this mean? Is it gonna spread to my other bones? Is like, what caused it? Is it fatal? I was like seriously freaking out. And so he answered my questions, trying to keep me calm, saying like, you know, we're gonna work it out, we'll figure something out, I'm gonna fit you for this little walking boot. And I was like, okay, all right. And as soon as I hung up the phone, I looked to my husband and I just like burst out crying because I was so freaked out. I had no clue what any of this meant. I was expecting him to say like it was broken or it didn't heal properly, but then he like told me essentially the bone was dead. And you know, it just, I freaked out. And for a while after that, I was really, really sad. And I was scared to walk too, because I found out that because the bone was dead, that means it's way more susceptible to breaking and shattering and all of that. So I was like scared to even walk for a while. And so I got the walking boot. It was basically like a sandal kind of, with these straps over the top, and inside the boot there was like a foam, and they cut out a piece of the foam so that the ball of my foot where the injury is was not getting a lot of pressure put onto it. And so I was wearing this like sandal shoe for I don't know, I think it was a while, like 3 months or something. And I had to wear the walking boot on my left foot and a normal shoe on my right foot. And everybody kept asking me like what happened to my foot. And it was similar to like the hyperhidrosis, where people just keep commenting on it and stuff, like even though you don't really want to talk about it or have it be noticed. And let's see here. So my podiatrist was like, okay, it's basically this like ultrasound machine. You're going to put it on your foot every single day, and it's going to increase the blood circulation to that area, and it'll make your foot heal faster. And I was like, okay, great. Like, let's do it. And so I got the machine. This is what it looks like. And I think I did this. I lose track of time so much. I did this for so many months though. I think it was nearing on 6 months. But basically it's this. Comes with, this is like the ultrasound piece. You strap on this, you strap this onto the injured area, and then you plug in the ultrasound portion into there. And then you start the treatment, and you add some gel to it as well. And so I was doing that every day, at least once a day for 20 minutes. And sorry, I don't have a table here. So the machine, at first I was like, this is gonna be the saving grace, the miracle. Like, this is gonna heal me. And you will not believe what happened next. what happened next was that the machine was hardly working because of my sweating feet. I would strap the machine on to do my treatment session, and my foot would start sweating, and then it would do an error message. So I had to restart the treatment all over again, or I had to like dry off my foot and point a giant fan onto it so that my foot would stay dry enough to get through the 20 minutes without it disconnecting. And that's really what pushed me to go to the dermatologist too, because I was like a mess. I was like, my hyperhidrosis is causing me all of these issues. Like, now I can't even do this bone machine to heal my bone because of my sweating problem. And so I went to the dermatologist, got the glycopyrrolate, and I started to be able to use the machine. And once I started the glycopyrrolate and I stopped sweating from my feet as often, I noticed my foot started to improve. It was feeling better. And I was like, that's kind of strange that like once I got my sweating under control, my foot started to feel better. And so also go back in time, I got some blood work done, and I had an abnormal blood value for alkaline phosphatase. It's a component of the blood, and it is related to bone health. And so I decided, okay, flash forward, I got to investigate more. Why is this lab always low? Because every lab I looked at for like the last 6 years, that one was a little bit low. And so I was like, I really want to investigate this further, because like, what if my hyperhidrosis is causing like some mineral to leach out of my system faster or something, I don't know. And so I went back to the doctor, told him I really wanted to investigate that lab further, and he was like, okay, that's fine. So we investigated it, and I found out I was severely deficient in vitamin D. And I'm not living somewhere where there's like no sun or anything, and I'm not nocturnal either, so it was kind of strange that I was vitamin D deficient, but I also know it's very common. So I started taking 4,000 was it 4,000? Yeah, 4,000 IUs of vitamin D for 2 weeks. And then after that, I'm on 2,000 milligrams or 2,000 IUs every day. And I was noticing even more improvement once I started fixing my vitamin D deficiency. And so the bone machine, or the ultrasound machine, ran out of treatments, and the podiatrist was like, you don't need to do it anymore if it's out. And I was just like, okay. And so I got these special shoe inserts made through my podiatrist, and they're similar to like the sandal was, where it's kind of like an insert, and then there's a bit cut out by the ball of the foot to relieve some pressure off of that area. And those are great. I can walk around very well now with little to no pain, or it's much less noticeable now. I still can't do anything like running, which was probably my favorite form of exercise, and I am worried to do anything that kind of puts pressure on my foot, the ball of my foot, in that way still, because it does still hurt at times, but overall there's continuous improvement, and I'm starting to regain my confidence in doing certain activities and learning how to adjust like how I used to do things to better suit the life that I'm leading now. There's a small chance that the bone could restore blood flow. There's a small chance. But if it doesn't restore blood flow, and if it ends up breaking or shattering or starting to hurt a lot again, chances are I'll have to have the entire bone removed. And it's not funny. I'm laughing because like you either laugh or cry, right? And so yeah. Fingers crossed that the bone just restores, because I don't want to get a whole bone removed, and it wouldn't be so scary if I knew they were replacing it with something, but like they literally just take the bone out and that's it. And if your toe starts to bend one way or the other because of the lack of the bone, then they like do another surgery, and it's just like, oh, who wants to do that? Nobody. Nobody. And the reason I do want to get another MRI done soon to see if the bone has restored blood flow, but a lot of the doctors around here are kind of nervous to give so many scans because I know they give off some radiation and stuff. So I'm just working with the doctor. I need to make a follow-up appointment soon to talk about this again and see like where do I go from here now. And the reason I wanted to make this video on this channel is because I was talking with a friend and I found out he has avascular necrosis in his hips and he's my age. And I was just like, what? I never like met somebody else who had this condition, yada yada, and we were just bonding over the fact that we both had it. And this was around the time when I started to get suspicious that perhaps a blood work deficiency I had was the reason this was even happening to begin with. And so I asked him, I'm like, this is going to sound a little bit weird, but do you like sweat a lot? And he was just like, I sweat so much from my head that I should probably carry a towel around with me. I'm just a puddle. And if that's not hyperhidrosis, like of the head, I don't know what is. And so I explained to him like what hyperhidrosis is, and he asked like about the medicine that I take for it. So to me, that sounds like someone else out there who has hyperhidrosis and avascular necrosis. So if you have both, please reach out to me. Either through email, YouTube comments. I also just made 2 extra usernames on, one's on Instagram and one's on Twitter, and they're both Jen Sweaty, one word, and there's no posts on there yet. I'm planning to start getting those up and running so I could be in contact with you guys better. I'm also on Reddit, and my name's sweatyjen on Reddit. And so my question to you all is, do you struggle with avascular necrosis? And if you do, let me know. And if you don't, but you struggle from another health condition that you maybe believe could be related to hyperhidrosis, let me know about it too, because I'm starting to become curious about this link of hyperhidrosis and other ailments that we experience. I know I've touched on the mental illness part of things, but I think there's a lot to do with possible physical conditions too that we haven't explored yet. So let me know if you're comfortable doing so. Oh, and something exciting happened today too. I got a delivery. And in this delivery, you guys know I'm always talking about how I want to try some other things to see if it helps me. Am I sweating on the days or the times when my glyco isn't cutting it? And so I found this website, officeundershirt.com, and I got a shirt off of there. And I've been wearing it. It's quite nice. And the material's really soft. And I haven't been sweating today, but I might start, you never know. And I'm gonna be wearing this shirt a few times, and then I'm gonna do a whole video reviewing this shirt, because I think these kinds of shirts that have, so this shirt has like an extra kind of underarm protection that's supposed to prevent odor and also sweat stains, which is a lifesaver. Like, I wish I had this shirt when I was younger, you know, because I remember in high school and stuff, I used to fold up paper towels and stuff and like put them into my shirt to try to prevent people from seeing my pit stains, and it never worked that well. So this shirt's awesome. I'm really excited to wear it and try it out, because exploring other treatment options is great. And like some of my subscribers say, they worry about the side effects of glycopyrrolate. I do too. And if there's other ways to live our lives without having to take a pill, or to make the times when we're sweating and taking a pill even more bearable, I'm all for trying out some new things and letting you guys know how it goes. I've also tried some other products that are meant to help hyperhidrosis sufferers lead a more comfortable life, and I could also do some review on those products as well. I'll probably end up throwing like a sweater or something on top of this when I go out later because it's freezing cold here, but it's a really cute design just how it is. Like it's not like covering it because it's ugly or anything. It's just cold here. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button down below. I try to post videos, it seems like at least once a week. And follow me on my new social medias, Jen Sweaty on Twitter and Instagram, sweatyjen on Reddit if you want to message me on there or anything. And I look forward to seeing you guys soon. Hope you have a great rest of your week, and talk to me in the comments below. Bye-bye.